Hi everyone, my name is Justin McDaniels and I'm a Community Relations Facilitator living in Cawthorne Hall, and welcome to January 2nd video log. Oh yeah. So, in recognition of February being Black History Month, the CRF thought that we would take a little different approach to talking about civil rights, especially what it means then as compared to now, and what the differences are in the time periods. But instead of us just talking directly to you through a camera, we thought we'd take a little artistic approach, so check it out. When asked about civil rights, usually the first thing that pops into my head is Martin Luther King Jr. and the March on Washington, where he delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech to thousands and thousands of enthusiastic peaceful protesters who were standing up for something that they believed in. Civil rights during the time of MLK was centered around one big issue in American history: the treatment of people of color. After the Supreme Court passed a separate but equal ruling to the infamous Plessy versus Ferguson case, people of color were treated like second-class citizens and were provided with lower treatment and services from businesses and people. All of this was legal because of the ruling the Supreme Court had passed. This treatment was an infringement of citizens' civil rights. Civil rights are defined as rights to personal liberty established by the 13th and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution and certain congressional acts, especially as applied to an individual or minority group. So basically, people of color were not being treated like citizens. This is what caused the civil rights movement to be the defining moment of the 1960s. People of color in America stood up for their rights and demanded that they be treated like equals. It was a long battle with many losses, including the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Robert Kennedy, but it still progressed forward. At the end of the road, many changes had occurred, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination, Voting Rights Act, which safeguarded the black vote, the Ku Klux Klan Act, and the 14th and 15th Amendments. And now we have the America of today. We end up asking ourselves, what now? What issues concerning civil rights are relevant in 2013? While racial concerns are still very salient, there are several other movements happening during our time. The current legal system of marriage excludes same-sex couples. As one respondent to a survey about civil rights said, gay marriage is at the heart of the civil rights struggle. Today, only Iowa, Connecticut, Maryland, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Washington, and Maine recognize all couples. The next issue is universal health care. American citizens have pushed in recent years for a more universal healthcare system, saying it is a civil liberty. With President Obama back in office, universal healthcare remains in the spotlight. Many politicians are impatiently waiting to see what the president's actions will be in this area. The third issue concerns fair wage. Even though women were given suffrage in 1920, their treatment in the workplace is still unequal. The fair wage movement is another civil rights issue that still needs to be addressed so that women can be paid a fair wage like their male counterparts. The last is education. Consider the number of barriers that are still present when trying to access higher education, which can include issues like race, ability, and rising costs. Students are currently fighting for tuition fee reform in many states and institutions across the U.S. We hope that you enjoyed a little different take on information about civil rights. To see more information on civil rights, or to check out more social justice issues, or to see more vlogs like this, or to see events that are going on campus, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/OregonStateCRFs. But that's all for this week's vlog, everyone. Hope to see you all in a couple weeks. All right, see ya.